Hi guys, it's Miss Darian. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and today I'm going to show you a quick and simple way to make a painting that doesn't look quick and simple. So if you guys want to learn how to make that, make sure to keep watching. Alright, so what you're going to need for this is a canvas, some small tape that can peel off your canvas easy, and a few paint colors. I have a lot. You're also going to need a paintbrush, something to hold the paint, and make sure you have paint the same color as your canvas. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to place the tape across, making geometric shapes. I went ahead and pre-cut all my tape so it would be easier and I wouldn't have to rip tape off a whole bunch while I'm filming this. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I think it'll look cool no matter how you do the tape. I just tried to keep mine in all triangles. Excuse my dog barking. She is playing right now. Also make sure you have enough tape. I ran out halfway and had to change to clear tape, which both work either way. Alright, I went ahead and put something to cover my surface. I just used an old tablecloth. Make sure you don't paint right on the table because it isn't always fun to get it off of whatever surface you're on. Alright, so I am putting paint into what I'm using to put the paint in. I'm using an old lid to a cookie container. I put a lot of colors. You don't necessarily need a lot of colors. And you definitely don't need as much paint as I have. You can always use white to make your one color a whole bunch of different shades. You can also mix colors, make your own colors. It's really up to you. Now for whatever color of your base, I use a lot of white. You're going to want to make sure you put a lot. I actually did have to refill a few times, but it's good to have a lot of it. Now for this part, you're going to paint over the edges of the tape with white, and that's supposed to help keep the paint from seeping under. You'll see at the end that didn't work the best for me, so it is better if you paint the whole canvas white first, then right after it dries, put your tape down, then tape over it. The paint kind of sticks together and makes a barrier for the paint not to be able to come through. It also works better if you have more of like a painter's tape or masking tape. I was using washi tape, which doesn't adhere all the way to the canvas, so it kind of bubbled up in spaces and paint went under it. And the thicker you go over with the white at this point, it'll make a thicker barrier for the colored paint to not get through it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting colors in. I decided that I was going to do all of mine to be kind of an ombre, where it starts dark and then goes lighter. And you can do that by just adding white to the end, or since I do have multiple colors of like the same color, I would put like the darkest pink at one end and then mix some of the lightest pink. For this one I just added white to the end and I thought it looked pretty nice. And I did the same with the blue. I did use a different shade of blue in this one, I believe, but I used mostly white. And once again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just express yourself. You could also paint like flowers in this, which would be pretty cool, or you could just paint anything really. And then when you peel up the tape, you'll have a design inside all those triangles instead of just solid paint. I just felt like doing an ombre. Now for this one I mixed a purple. I know I have a light purple, but it didn't go on quite how I wanted it, so I just made a dark purple to put on it and then used the light purple to help fade it out. Also, you want to make sure when you're putting these colors, you can do it if you want to, but I make sure that I don't let like two pinks get too close to each other, so I wouldn't put a pink right next to a pink. And you'll see as I do more, the gradients tend to go a lot quicker for me. Another thing you could do to maybe make this a little more interesting is maybe instead of painting white on first like I had said to do, before you put the tape on, if you did like little doodles with like a Sharpie or a pen, that might look neat. And then if you put the tape down, paint over it, then when you peel it off, you'll have a little design under it. You could also probably very well do the design after. And unless you're doing light colors next to each other, make sure you rinse your brush out. I have a paper towel to the side that after I rinse my brush, I wipe it off on. And it's really important to do that so your colors don't get all muddy. And you definitely don't have to put as much paint as I did. I put kind of big blobs and I didn't need that much. Paint goes pretty far, so you could do very well half of what I put and still probably have leftover. Make sure to leave a comment and let us know if you plan on doing one like this, or if you like how it turned out, or if maybe you've seen other people do this before. Or maybe you've done it before. I think I did it as a club in the past. And I think I had the same problem with the paint bleeding under the tape. But you live and you learn. The more I do it, the better I'll get, and I'll figure out tricks to stop it from doing the stuff I don't want it to do. This looks like I'm really going that too fast, but I sped it up. But if only it went that fast. I tend to overthink a lot when I'm doing art, and that's okay, but you also just need to be carefree when you're doing it. Just kind of express yourself, how you're feeling. I've always been a fan of like these more pastel rainbow colors, so I thought I'd do that. And I figured this would look pretty no matter where I put it. I could put it in my room and it would look good. I could put it on my desk at the center, it would look good. I could put it in any of the rooms at the center, it'd look good. That's why I put so many colors in it, because it would look good really anywhere. But it also doesn't have to match the space you're putting it in. It can just make you happy. If everything in your room makes you happy, it doesn't necessarily have to go together. You can make your own rules for what looks good. I'd actually mixed my own purple for this one. I completely mixed it since I was almost done with the colors. I just used some blue and the dark pink and mixed it up. Now I had some leftover glitter paint, so I went ahead and put that on there, and then I have a lot of glitter, so I put a little bit of that in there too. And I thought it would be pretty to paint on some of the triangles and help make them pop. I just want to mix a chunky glitter in with it too. Help it be a bit more sparkly. And these are holographic glitters, which means they reflect rainbows when light hits it, which I thought would look really nice with the pastel rainbow I've got going on. Then I just went ahead and put them in some of the triangles I thought they would look good in. I didn't want them to be directly next to each other, but I wanted to put them similar spaces. And it looks a little funny right now, but I promise when it dries, it's very sparkly, very pretty. The paint that I used is a clear glaze with a glitter put into the paint in the factory, and then of course I added more glitter as you saw, so it does come out very glittery. And then now it's time to peel the paint or the tape, and you can see my method did not work the best. So I am going to have to get some white paint and going over. First I grabbed a paper towel though, and I got it a little wet, and I kind of rubbed what I could off of the canvas, and it helps get any puddles dried up. There are a few that I didn't get all the way, and the white ended up smearing it. And this is a step that can be avoided. Just try to figure out what works best for you. I think that if I would have painted white on the whole canvas first, it would have helped to keep that from stopping, but I didn't even think about doing that at first. And there are times when I'm covering up these lines and I'm getting really close to the color that I go over it a bit, but it's fine. It does not have to be perfect. And this is something that maybe even after your first layer of white paint, like I said earlier, you could take a pen or something and you could draw in that white space and help cover up some of those overhangs of the color, and that might look actually really cool. Make sure to leave a comment down below and say if this should be a club that we do in the school year or next school year. I think that might be fun. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about that. Is that something you'd want to do? Is this something you'd want to do as a group? And you'll notice the more layers you do, the more it'll cover up the imperfections on it. But you also don't have to do that. You can leave it however you feel like. You'll also notice in the final shots that I ended up putting glitter on this. It just wasn't turning out how I was wanting it to, so I just covered it up with glitter. And that's the final product. Okay guys, and that's how you make this painting. I hope you had fun watching me make it. I hope you guys get inspired and want to make it yourself. Learn from my mistakes. And I will see you guys later. Stay safe. Bye.